You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver.
What the hell is that?
Podcast.
Welcome to the P3 podcast, ladies and gentlemen. No funky, fucked up, cold intros this week talking about spaceships and the fire trucks or anything like that, because Ransom's out, but the three of us are manning the helm. I'm leading the charge here for the intro, and then I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Beef the Legend. But I am your reigning, defending, undisputed, yada, 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 etc. Call me what you will. Call me your Cruiserweight champion. Call me your Steel City savior. Whatever you want. But I am Tigerbomb Tom, and I'm joined tonight by Mr. Poot the Bard, le former champion. Poot, how are you?
The legacy champion.
Yes, the legacy champion.
No, I'm doing all right, man. I don't know about you guys. Like, is the fucking winter getting to you guys? You know what I mean? Like, it's so
fucking real.
Fucking rain, gray, like fall cold. Not like cold enough to be a proper winter.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks, dude. Like, it's just like, you go like, oh, I could do this, but instead I'll just sit and, in my head, just hear, all around me are familiar faces.
Yep.
No, I like
instead I'll sit around and just get lost in like viral videos of people exercising their First Amendment rights on Facebook against cops for 3 hours straight.
Wow, that went off the deep end pretty quick.
It's pretty specific.
But no, man, other than that, I'm doing good. Guitar work's going good. I started doing intermittent fasting, so like I'm kind of adjusting to that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of weird, but I like it. I have more energy,
nice,
which is cool. May I introduce our third party, Mr. Steel City Save Player?
You may, sir.
All right. And the third member, who is going to be the captain of this podcast, because Tom and I have just been busy little bees. This is Mr. Beef, the Legend.
I mean, you may as well like volley it to me, being like, "Hey, here's a guy that has no life and watch wrestling all the time, Beef the Legend."
That's not what I meant. Fuck yourself.
I mean, we weren't gonna go there, but if you want to take it there, we can take it.
I mean,
there.
I've been watching lots of wrestling, so I have some things to talk about for sure. I'm not that anybody asked, but I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking.
We were gonna get there, dude. Just calm down. Look at you, man. Be careful pulling your
artist. You got to let the artist perform here, Beef.
Be careful. Be careful pulling your hands off those nails off the cross, man. Jeez, calm down. You face.
I'm just saying. I'm okay.
Good. Man.
I feel you. I feel you. The whole like dead of winter, but like it's not the dead of winter kind of thing. It's kind of a fucked up vibe. So
yeah, it sucks a lot.
Well, I'd say it's a perfect time to let Beef introduce the sponsors, since he does it oh so well. So go ahead, Beef. Let's do that and get the show kicked off.
Hey, thanks, Tom.
Hey.
We would like to thank our wonderful sponsors. First of all, Mr. Casual Gaming Dad himself, Mr. Tigerbomb Tom over here, and his wonderful everything he does over on Facebook with the Casual Gaming Dad, and the Casual Gaming Dad's Corner, also available on YouTube. You have that fancy new YouTube title. Go ahead and lay it on us, Tom.
It is www.youtube.com/casualgamingdad84. I double checked it to make sure if it would work. Yeah, I got rid of the C. It's apparently not necessary. So yeah, youtube.com/casualgamingdad84.
Fucking A, man.
Hooray!
That's
great. And now that he's a big boy and he's got all the stuff. He's got the Xboxes and the PS4s and the Switches. So all kinds of great content coming from you now.
Hey, but to our listeners' moms, they're all Nintendos.
That's so true.
Very true.
On the video game front, really quick before we dive into wrestling, I properly beat Breath of the Wild today.
Nice.
Oh, congratulations. I still have to do that.
I do as well.
I just kind of was like, today is the day, and I did.
Today is the day. Yeah, man. I don't know what it is with Zeldas, but like I'll like beat a game like 75%, and I'll go, that's good, and I'll leave it set on my shelf and pick it up like a couple years later and be like, oh yeah, I need to beat this dungeon and beat the game and go kill Ganon.
Dude,
So right on, man.
Samey. Like, I do the exact same thing.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. And then we definitely want to thank our other sponsor, Mr. Sean Tisler over at IWC for the IWC Clearfield. And the big news just broken by Mr. Sean Tisler himself about 10 minutes ago on the IWC Clearfield website, webpage on Facebook. IWC, the cage is coming back to Clearfield on April 25th, which is a Saturday, April 25th, 2020. Get your tickets now at IWCWrestling.com, or you can talk to Sean in person and see what he wants to do with hooking you up with some sweet-as deals. But yes, the cage is coming back for IWC Cage Combat in Clearfield 2020. That's April 25th, which happens to be the day before a very important day, as I recall. Poot, do you know what day that might be?
I'm sorry. What are we talking about again?
Don't worry about it, Dragon. Anyway, so we.
Hey, real quick, I want to interject and say that happy birthday to IWC's own RC Dupree today.
Yeah, man.
Oh, awesome!
Yes,
Great.
sir.
That's hope to see him back sooner than later, man. They got the vignettes going. He's building up some steam. There were lots of we want Dupree chants at the last show there. So hopefully he'll get back at it and get into a high profile feud, probably with Argos or with Pollock. Either way, you can't go wrong.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I would love to see Argos Dupree. Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be
man.
great.
Like I get the feeling that they're angling for that to be like the blood feud, quote unquote blood feud of 2020 over at IWC, and I don't think that either of those gentlemen would disappoint in that fashion.
no way.
No, not at
way.
all.
So they got a show coming up here at the end of the month. I think on the 22nd. That's probably not the right date. No, yeah, it would be. That would be a Saturday. On the 22nd, they got a show coming up, and then the big Night of Superstars is in March. So lots of big things coming up for them. So for sure, check them out and definitely check out. Talk to Sean about getting tickets. And I got to talk to one of our wonderful fans a little bit about IWC and some of the stuff going on. So we always love hearing from fans, so feel free to drop us a line, either on the page or personally, because we are easy to talk to guys.
Yeah, man.
So let's talk about wrestling, you fools. It's
You fools.
been a hot minute since I know that you guys have watched, so I'll try to kind of keep it as light as we can here. But I think the biggest news of the week is actually of the last 2 weeks has been Raw and the NXT presence on Raw as of late. Last week we saw the involvement of Rhea Ripley as she came out and basically challenged Charlotte to challenge her for the NXT title at WrestleMania. And then we also saw Angel Garza come out and be basically the stand-in for Andrade. So I don't know what's going to happen once Andrade comes back. And then this week we finally saw the debut of Shayna Baszler, the vampire, apparently. So
Yeah, anyway, we'll get to that. Go on.
But I mean, it's very clear that it's either they believe that infusing NXT talent on Raw is going to help the Raw product, which I think might be a Heyman call, or that they're just trying to get eyes on NXT to help them beat AEW. Either way, I think right now everybody's kind of winning. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that you know who's been doing some big work for me the last couple weeks has been Angel freaking Garza.
Dude,
yeah.
That man is a treasure. He is a treasure. Like, absolutely. I said that back whenever he first started being more present on NXT with his little mini feud against Leo Rush.
Leo Rush. Yeah, man.
He has personality for days. The big thing with him is that I'm not trying to take this over. I'm sorry, guys. I just ran with this, but
No, you're good.
That's okay. I gotta pop out for a second anyway. So go on. I'll be right back.
I really like Angel Garza. The thing is, not only does he have personality for days, not only is he a really, really, really solid worker, but the other thing is too, when he works, you see it on his face. It's the same thing of like, okay, when Randy Orton attacked Edge, right? Like when
Which is a great angle too, by the way.
Awesome. When Randy Orton attacked Edge, like after the first RKO, they did that close up on Edge's face. Nobody nowadays, or very few people nowadays, sell those facials that way. You know what I mean? Like you believe it. Like there was like the little moment where I completely like kayfabe was back, and I was just like, "Fuck, he's hurt. Oh my god, what did Randy Orton do? What do you do? Wait a minute, you know what I mean? Like,
what have you done to me? You bastards!"
It seriously was like, I was like, and then like the little touches of like when Edge was laying there when Randy Orton was considering the concerto, and his hand was twitching. Just that little it's those touches that make a good worker a great worker. And I think Angel Garza, given a little bit more time, will really excel in that way.
And he's put on some great matches. Last week he had a pretty good, I'd say, a great match with Humberto Carrillo, and then Cedric Alexander, which is something of a different fucking discussion altogether with him. But they obviously they're going to do well, and they did well. My concern is this. So clearly Garza is there as kind of the piecemeal filler for Andrade, because it's very clear that Andrade and Humberto have very limited English dialogue. Garza, not so much. Garza seems like he has a very good grasp on both languages. But they're clearly working Andrade and Carrillo and Rey Mysterio all together because of the benefit of being able to work together in both languages.
And being familiar with that, and being familiar with that style.
Correct. Something that I think that Sin Cara really could have, the original Sin Cara, Mystico, could have benefited from in his time at WWE, but I digress.
Agreed.
So Garza is obviously a natural stand-in for that. Here's the problem, though. With Garza, we're getting a guy who is quicker than Andrade. I think a better worker than Andrade.
Woo!
A more handsome man than Andrade, and a man who can speak English and therefore get over in his own promos, and a man who is younger than Andrade. Here's the problem. Because you can't just swap them out. So I think if you take out Garza whenever Andrade comes back, I think you have a little bit of a vacuum. And I love Andrade. I don't want to sit here and say disparaging words about him lightly. But I mean, Garza is a hell of a worker, and I think he works a better style than Andrade does. I just feel like WWE may be setting themselves up to have a situation plus Garza does not have the albatross around his neck of a 30-day suspension. Garza's clean, baby. So I'm just saying it's something to think about.
Man, I don't know if I agree with you about. Well, also to be fair, Garza's what, 23?
Yeah, he's super young.
He's young. He's really young. So, like, him and, like, going over to the women's side, which we'll talk about her later, Rhea Ripley, like, these people have so many years ahead of them, and they have nowhere to go but up, right? Andrade, I think, is what, in his early mid-30s?
I believe that sounds about right.
Andrade, let me look it up, just so we're not BS for, like, 30 seconds, Beef.
Sure. But, I mean, Garza, I think right now he's pulling like double duty. He's working NXT, he's working Raw. He's busting his hump right now. And to me, it's hard to take a guy like that, and he's getting over. That's the other thing. It's hard to take a guy like that, and like when you pull a fire extinguisher off the wall and it says, to use break glass, you break that glass is broken and the fire extinguisher is out. You can't. It's very odd just to put the fire extinguisher back into that broken glass. It's much harder to do that. So Andrade,
he's 30. So early 30s. He's just 30.
Mm-hmm.
Turned 30 in November. So, I mean, he still has years on him, and even though he works a little bit of a bombastic style, he has more. Like I would put him and Angel Garza on par with each other work-wise, which I think is a huge nod to Angel Garza, seriously. Mm-hmm. Because, like, Garza, he is almost but younger. And so I can understand from that perspective why WWE would want to put more stock in this young rising star who's already at the level of Andrade from a work perspective, at least taking WWE in the bubble that is WWE. Because I think Andrade, dude, go watch stuff from when Andrade was La Sombra. Like, just do that. Like, he's had a hell of a career, and I feel like this is a place where Andrade can just kind of like coast it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the thing. If he's coasting it out, I mean, I don't know. Like,
not meaning to be smart. I'm not meaning to be smart. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I just meant I was gonna say if that's kind of what it is for him. Like, do you think maybe it could be looked at that he's not as hungry as or anything like that? Because I mean, like, I agree that they're very, very close work wise and stuff like that. But I give the slight edge overall to Angel Garza. I just, there's something about his personality that I like a little bit more than Andrade. And I think maybe it's because the fact that Andrade is pretty much through and through a heel, but Angel has that innate ability to be the cool heel, and they really could work him believably as a face or a heel either way, whichever one is they happen to need at the time. Obviously, like he does a little bit better as a heel. Well, there, you know what I mean? There's just certain people like Orton. Orton's better as a heel. Heel Orton is the best Orton, but Orton makes an okay face at times too.
He makes a good no. Here, I will agree with Tom under the condition that he is paired with someone like Edge.
Yes, yeah. Like he has to kind of be the. He has to have a foil. Yeah, he has to. He's not white meat baby face. He's not that type of baby face. He's the edgy baby face, or the I do what I want, kind of like the Moxley sort of attitude. You know what I mean?
I get it.
I was gonna say, and I'm not in any way trying to compare the two, like saying that they're directly like one another, but just that general attitude, like the Moxley attitude.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing that we want to think about is, okay, so we're sitting here singing the praises of Garza. We're sitting here singing the praises of Andrade. The odd man out then may end up being Carrillo. Because, again, while Carrillo is very young and very clearly skilled, he's another guy who is the absolute definition of white-faced baby meat. Like, he dresses like a fucking Power Ranger. The crowd doesn't know what to think about him. Honestly, we may be looking at a scenario where Andrade comes back and somehow they transition Garza over into the face role and kind of shut the door on Carrillo. Because, again, honestly, it's a big deal. Vince is all about people that can connect with the product. Now, back in the 80s, they had managers to do that for them. I don't know why they don't do that now.
Yeah.
But you know, and Zelina Vega's doing a wonderful job with Andrade.
Dude,
So it's not like Andrade's not getting over as a heel, but Garza can do that in and of himself. Why do you think that we haven't seen a heavy push for Asuka? Because she can't speak English. Why do you think, you know, same with Nakamura? You know, these people who cannot speak or speak very, very limited English, Vince does not believe that they can get themselves over. So that's immediately a strike in his mind.
and that's not to, you know, that's not to say anything disparaging to them or anything like that, and be, you know, like racially or culturally insensitive or anything by any means. You know, but
it's a Vince McMahon thing.
No, but it in general, it's just very hard to connect with somebody if, you know, if it's hard to understand them or whatever. Like, speaking from personal experience, like I had to sit there and like drag conversations out of certain Iraqi army soldiers whenever I would stand post with them on deployments and stuff. Some of them had pretty good broken English, and we were able to talk about things, but it was very limited. You know what I mean? Like, there you have to. And this kind of circles back around to Korea a little bit. You have to be able to get emotionally invested, and that's the problem that I personally have with Humberto. Is I got no emotional connection. Like, why am I supposed to care? Now, Zelina Vega, she gets me emotionally invested because she does everything a swarmy, you know, heel manager is supposed to do, and she does it well. She does her job perfectly, you know, and she does everything that she's great. I can't speak highly enough of her. But you take somebody like, you know, white face baby meat, you know, Humberto, and it's just, I'm like, okay, give me a reason to care. I have none. Other baby faces, you know, that give me a reason to care, like, you know, going on to the NXT side, like Keith Lee or, you know, whoever, Tegan Knox, you know, anybody. Like, okay, I have a reason to care. You got me emotionally invested, but it's just when you don't have that there, man, you cannot depend on just your in-ring skill alone to get you over, because it won't last. And point proven, look at Bret Hart. He had some of the greatest. I'm sorry. I know it hurts. I'm not trying to kick you while you're down in the winter blues there, Beef. But you know, look at Hart. I mean, he was a great technician in the ring, but after a certain point, he lost connection. Now, that's not to say he didn't have it ever. He had it for a certain point, but as the times in the industry changed, he failed to change with it, and he failed to stay connected with those fans and with that audience. So he became, you know, you either get turned, you know, the audience turns on you, or they just don't give a shit, you know, or a little bit of both.
When was the last time that you guys went back and watched Wrestling with Shadows?
Oh,
It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Probably at least a decade, I'd say.
So
Easily.
I watched it the other day, when I was taking a little nappy poo. So I drifted in and out. However, let me say this. A lot of like the reason that Bret Hart lost connection with the fans was, number one, the times changing, right? Number two, it was his and admittedly, there was stuff in there where it was Bret Hart was not willing to play ball. Okay, I'm not saying it's not part and parcel Bret Hart's fault. What I'm saying is that it was times were changing, and he was forced into this heel gimmick with, you know, the infamous double turn. But they were like, no, you're the bad guy now. You have to be the bad guy. And he's just like, well, I'm not a bad guy. This character, and the problem was that character to Bret Hart, no matter what anyone told him, was a good guy. Like, he was a good guy. He was a babyface. He's like, I can't be a heel. Like, this doesn't make sense. Just because, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling right now, but the point is, I'm saying it wasn't 100% Bret Hart's fault. But go on.
Oh no, I agree. I mean, there's, I don't think it ever is 100% anybody one way or the other. There's always a lot of factors, you know, that go into it. I mean,
most of which are Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I mean Vince is obviously a huge factor. He's the final say in it all. But I mean, look at the fans. The fans can be such a huge factor. Look at the Daniel Bryan situation.
Oh,
everything
God,
like that. I mean, there's always a number of factors, but it always comes back to emotional connection. You have to be able to you have to have somebody be able to identify with you somehow. And I don't feel that from Carrillo.
And that's why not that I'm not talking about that's what gimmicks like Asuka work and guys like Carrillo, like on the smaller stage, like NXT, the more intimate setting, you get a better feel. It's hard to describe, but you feel more connected with what's going on there because you get more of like the facials, more of like the body language, things like that doesn't take a verbal communication versus like this national stage stuff where you're out in front of like 10 to 12,000 fans every week, and if you cannot and you instead of on NXT where you'd have 15 to 20 minutes for a match, you now you have 5 to 7 minutes. Like, so you have to truncate your style, you have to truncate what you're doing, and if you cannot eloquently, put into words some things, and again, you don't have to speak all the time, but the best are truly a mix, of in-ring, facials, body language, vocal, the whole 9 yards. But when you're pushed onto that national stage, wrestling in front of a bigger crowd, in front of a bigger house, with a less of a time frame, you have to rely on that stuff a little bit more. So again, that's why people like Korea, like Shinsuke, like Asuka, like get over bigger in front of the small crowd, but with more I guess less exposure, but like with more time to show their craft versus what they're doing now. And again, it's I guess I wasn't necessarily looking to get into this discussion, but since we're here, it's a fair point that if they're going to do this whole globalization, WWE that is, if they're going to do this whole globalization, then they got to be committed to letting people kind of work their styles a little bit more than what they have been.
I think I'll even put it in another analogy, especially for a Pittsburgh-based podcast, for a Pittsburgh-based analogy. You can find the same thing in music and different bands and stuff like that too. Look at the Clarks, huge local band, never really translated onto like the big national scene. They do some touring up and down the East Coast and stuff like that. But again, it's I love going seeing them. Small little intimate shows, like if it's the front three or whatever, doing a little acoustic set down at the casino for free, or if they put on a free show at some random freaking fairground or whatever. There is something to be said, again, just being able to build a connection when you have a smaller crowd, and you don't have all the big hubbubaloo and the production and everything of a national size crowd or show or whatever. It some stuff just gets over better that way.
I
what
agree.
are you talking about? The Clarks, them Clarks are the best band I ever did see down at Station Square there.
Hey,
Beef,
I got 3 words: Gene the Werewolf. All right, no, they're both good. They're both great bands, and the Hot Guys as well.
I have 3 words for Beef. You're from Clearfield. I'm
a transplanted yender, damn it.
Okay, Beef. All right, we've had this argument. I'm going to leave that alone. Speaking of things getting over, guys, you mind if I shift gears really hard? Watch out for whiplash.
Go ahead.
So, there was an interesting tweet from Evil Uno of the Dark Order that seems to line up with Mr. Matt Hardy.
Interesting.
So, Matt Hardy had a tweet that said goodbye. Evil Uno almost at the same time said, "You say goodbye, I say hello." And there's been the whole thing going on of who is the leader of the Dark Order, who's the overseeing Dark Order demigod, if you will. And man,
what the hell is his name? The Exalted.
It makes so much sense, and I would dare say even more sense than the initial plan of Marty Scurll.
Yeah,
which
I like
the
it.
Bucks deny up and down that that was the initial plan.
It's bullshit.
Hey, listen, if it is Hardy, I will just say it's gonna be wonderful. Yes,
I want it to happen, like so bad.
Okay, I love what the Dark Order is doing right now. To be honest with you, like I love seeing Evil Uno in like a suit, like purveying his wares as like a gentleman of like ill repute, you know. Join us because it's the easy way. Like it's so good, it's fattening. And say what you will about the creepers pulling their punches on Dustin Rhodes a month ago or whatever, that happened. But like the whole show that they're doing with Christopher Daniels is gold. And I mean, like right now, like their promos are just printing money. So yes, I mean, broken Matt Hardy makes a ton of sense. But here's a but. Let's remember that the Dark Order are bad guys. And even though Cody likes to blur those lines and say, what's a bad guy, what's a good guy, despite being, involved in like the hottest bad guy, good guy feud I can remember right now. Anyway, the Dark Order are bad guys. So you take a guy like broken Matt Hardy, who has usually been a good guy. I mean, I guess his roots are in like the heel work, but I mean, like he's over as a good guy. So, I mean, I get it. I personally would much rather see Brody Lee in that Exalted one. I wouldn't argue with either, certainly, but I think we could see broken Matt Hardy on AEW sooner rather than later.
I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like that idea of Brody Lee. I don't know how well he fits in the quote unquote leadership role of the Exalted one, but I do like him in the Dark Order regardless. I like him better than Matt Hardy in the Broken in the Broken Order. In the Dark Order, there you go. There's a
Broken Order,
the Broken Order, yeah.
I could see Brody Lee being like Matt Hardy's Hound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I like that.
Yeah, man.
His heavy.
The enforcer. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
The Wardlow to his MJF, so to speak.
Like, and that's the
like
thing
it.
is just that. Well, and Beef, I understand your concerns, and Tom, I understand that as well. But think about this: we saw the broken Matt Hardy thing, and we all loved it very dearly. Then we saw woken Matt Hardy, which was like you took broken Matt Hardy and like cut him with 95% water, and it was just kind of like, okay, you're giving him just enough rope to hang himself. You know what I mean? Like it was a shame that it wasn't better than what it was. They didn't let him have the creative control that say Bray Wyatt had. They let Bray Wyatt run with initially with the Fiend. But think about what we could see. We could see the broken Matt Hardy, but we could see something much more Madman Sinister versus Madman Golden Age of comic books. Like, we could see something far more maniacal out of him. And Matt Hardy has endless amounts of creativity. So I have no doubt in my mind that he could make it happen.
Do you remember Matt Hardy? Do you remember Matt Hardy's gimmick before broken Matt Hardy?
You mean was like Moneymaker Matt?
Moneymaker Matt. Yeah, that
shit was golden.
Was not so creative.
Oh, it was funny as fuck. Did you ever watch his YouTube videos?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
and I remember
hilarious.
being a fan of them at that time. But I mean, looking back, man, I don't know. Like it honestly, Moneymaker Matt feels a lot like hey, I'm banging a porn star RVD. Like, it's like I don't know.
A grasping at straws. Like banging porn stars RVD. I'm just like, I think RVD, like I think boy finally fucking snapped. Like I think he's having his thing that you see sad old men do, where it's like they never rebelled in their 20s, and then they got to the point where they're like in their late 40s, early 50s, and they just decide to start going nuts, and they just like throw around all their money and try and like get desperate like girls who are looking for a sugar daddy. Like, it's sad, and I hate it. I'm like, RVD, come on, man. Just point at yourself, kick some people, and have fun. Like, it's ham-fisted, and it belongs in an age gone by. Go on.
All I'm saying is I'm tentative, because yes, Broken Matt Hardy was absolutely wonderful. To a niche fan base. Our dear friend Ransom never really got Broken Matt Hardy. The whole Hardy Boys like gimmick, even when Matt Hardy was handed a main event platter with Edge and said, "Here, go." I feel like Matt Hardy might be a guy who hit on the lottery once, and we're all like, "Oh man, this guy's the luckiest guy in the world." In reality, he just, got lucky once. I pray that I'm wrong, because I do like Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy's always been my favorite of the Hardy Boys. But I mean, I just feel like the Exalted One is a little bit of a reach for him. But keeping on AEW, I did my weekend review show last week, and I cannot fucking believe that I forgot to mention the hottest 15 minutes in pro wrestling that I've seen in probably a decade, probably more than that, which was the whipping of Cody Rhodes by MJF.
I didn't see
How did that go?
Why did that happen?
How'd that go over?
So to set the stage, Cody has been, wanting a match with MJF ever since MJF cost Cody the title at Full Gear, and MJF has been ducking him. MJF finally said, "Okay, Cody, you want a match with me? Here's what you got to do. First of all, you can't lay your hand on me until Revolution. Second of all, you've got to face Wardlow in a cage on, I think it's either next week or the week after at Dynamite."
I was just about to ask if they did that cage match or not, because I thought it was supposed to happen back closer to the cruise.
No, it's coming up either this. It's not this week. I think it's next week. And then the third stipulation was that he has to take 10 lashes from MJF with a belt. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the time last week, and it's like 9:45, and I'm like, oh man, this is the main event segment. How are they going to pull this out for 15 minutes? I'm telling you, man. Like, you want to talk about fucking gripping television? I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. Like, it was phenomenal. MJF made sure to like leave little bits of time. Like, he wasn't just whip, whip, whip. It was, whip, and then he'd go at Cody. Cody would react. Cody would drop to his knees. Cody would, drop to his belly. And Cody, God love him, man. Like, everyone's like, oh man, Cody did just such a great job, and he had all the great facial expressions. Well, you know what? If you're getting fucking beat with a belt 10 times in a row in the same damn spot, like, yeah, you're gonna be the same. Like, there's no way to fake that. Obviously,
I'm gonna bring a leather strop down for WrestleMania weekend. I'm gonna hit you once. See how that feels.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard pass. Hard pass. It's well documented, to quote JR, that
and Ransom.
Ransom, that wrestling is fake. Okay, ha. Okay, I get it. But like, there are certain things that you can, you can't pull, and getting hit with a leather strap are one of those things.
Yeah,
MJF. Good.
I was gonna say, anytime I hear somebody bring up the whole, well, isn't it fake or wrestling or whatever? I'm like, no. I was like, it is scripted. I was like, it's entertainment. It's just like a movie or a TV show. I was like, it's scripted. I was like, but they do their storytelling through physicality in the ring. I was like, there's certain things you can't fake. Like, and even Bully Ray said it himself too. He's like, there's a difference between taking a chair shot to the back and taking a leather strap or, whatever to the back. Like, there is a big difference. And I don't envy Cody in the least bit.
For the first, I think 4 or 5 knocks with that strap, MJF hit him at the exact same spot. Yeah, exactly. Then he went to like the middle of the back. Then he went to the arm. Then he went to like the back of the neck. At one point, he hit him across the chest with it.
Ooh.
Yeah. And like every time, like once they got to like 5 or so, I think Arn came out. And Arn was like kind of coaching Cody up, saying, hey, man, you can't, you come this far. You cannot tap out now, man. You got to do this. You got this. I believe in you. And then they do another one, and then another one. And, like, Cody would be looking like, tears in his eyes. He's, like, on the ground struggling. And then, like, the heels would come out of the locker room, and they were kind of, like, gathering around the entranceway. And then the Elite came down, the Bucks. I don't know if Omega was there or not. I think it may have just been the Bucks. And they were like, come on, man, you got this. And then finally, after, strap hit number 9, Brandy came down. And, completely devoid of the Nightmare Collective angle, which apparently is poof, gone like the NWO. Brandy comes down and, like, takes his hand and, like, kisses him and says, yeah, I believe in you. And he gets up and he takes his 10th strap. And I mean, it was, like, literally... I was like, how are they going to pull this out for 15 minutes? But it was super, super good. I was shocked as to how well it went over.
I heard nothing but... I absolutely heard nothing but insane, like how brutal it was. And I saw the picture of Cody's pictures of Cody's back after the fact.
How was it compared to Daniel Bryan's back?
Worse.
Okay.
Oh,
okay, good.
way worse.
I figured it. I figured it would have had to been, but I just wanted something something that I at least saw already to compare with. So I mean, I'm definitely going to go back and watch it. Everything is still on my DVR. I just gotta make the time to do it. So.
Well, and it's the old bed of nails thing. Like, if the wider the base, the more area that like the pain is going to go across. Right. So I don't want to say the less you feel, but the less, and like the belt that MJF was whipping him with was like Cody's like, regular ass leather belt, like not his stupid weight training belt.
Like a regular leather. Yeah. Like a leather dress belt.
And something that MJF did that absolutely captivated me at the beginning. He took off his own belt and he's sitting there and he's like, no, Cody, I want your belt. I want to beat you with your own belt. And I was like, man, like, you want to talk about a fucking masterclass on being a heel? Right now, we have 2 of the best that I can remember in Randy Orton with what he's doing with Edge and MJF with this whole Cody thing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give to MJF just
for sure.
Round of applause, man. He is
for sure
head and shoulders the. I mean, I can't say for sure because I don't watch. I really don't watch TNA, or Impact, whatever you want to call it. I don't watch Impact or NWA, Ring of Honor. But I mean, I would damn near be certain to say that MJF is probably like one of, if not the best heels in the business right now. Bar none.
Dude, well, do you remember a couple months ago I posted that like 20-second video and admittedly may or may not have had a few of the beers before I did it. It was just a little live video I did where I said MJF is a fucking treasure.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's all I wanted to say because I was just like nobody is doing what he's doing. No one is living that gimmick and just bringing it the way he does.
That is the key phrase right there. And you just said it, living the gimmick, because if it's not a matter of where, like in Randy Orton's case, he's a heel, but he's going to go out and do like a Make-A-Wish or something like that for somebody that wants it. No, MJF is like through and through a fucking asshole. Like, you know,
He acts like he fucking hates everybody. Like, you come up to him in the street, he's gonna be like, "Fuck off, get the fuck out of here. I ain't got time for you."
Yeah, kiss my ring, peasant. You know, like, oh my god, he's so good at it, and I'm you know, I'm really glad to see that there is somebody like that. But then it makes me wonder, like, is he really just that big of an asshole? And that's the compelling part, is that he's so good at what he does. You don't know whether or not he is, you know, that big of an asshole. Like, I've tried to listen very closely whenever he's had his interviews with like Jericho and, you know, Chris Van Vliet and whoever. And even when it seems like there's going to be a moment when he like might throw somebody a compliment, he ends up making it a backhanded compliment and just fucking still tears them down somehow. And I'm like, you sneaky son of a bitch. You are so goddamn good at this. Like, he's amazing.
And that's the thing, is we're seeing, and would you guys agree, like, just overall, including WWE, AEW, even NJPW, and even on the indie scene with IWC, you're seeing kind of a renaissance of characters that are like, and workers that are, it's almost like in between kayfabe and breaking kayfabe. It's like right in the middle.
Dude, I'll give you another one. You know what? Now that you mentioned IWC, I'll give you another one that could give MJF a run for his money. Mandime.
Yo,
I cannot. Dude, are you friends with him on Facebook or anything?
I'm not friends with Mandime. I've been following Mambo Italiano like crazy.
Okay, I have them both on Facebook. I tell you what, dude, the vitriol that fucking Elijah Dean posts on Facebook to like Johnny Patch and everybody else. Oh my God. Like, I'm surprised that his shit doesn't, like, his account does not get reported and shut down. Like, he is rough.
Really?
So,
Well, and I think that we have.
Yeah.
I think that we've come to a new generation. Not to, like, you know, jump on the WWF new generation era, but like, I think we're at a new generation of performers who are like, okay, so kayfabe is dead, right? Or is it? And they're definitely pushing the line. Argos is another one. He's an interesting case study, because I love Argos, but he does a pretty good job of healing it up too when he can.
yeah.
So, like, I mean, these guys are taking, because the WWE model is, okay, if you're gonna be a shitty heel, that's fine. But if a Make-A-Wish kid calls you and said, "Hey, I want to sign, I want you here," you're gonna go do it, because you work for Vince McMahon and we have to get the public image out there. That's great, but I think it's something, because it kind of really is a resurgence of kayfabe, of them, and now they have like this platform, these social media platforms that reach thousands more than they could have in those like old damp dusky fucking bingo halls of the 1980s. Now they're reaching thousands of people with the fucking stroke of their finger. So I'm here for it, man. Like, I'm about it. That's exciting to me.
Yeah. What else is going on, like, just on TV wise and stuff? I kind of came back into the end of like Angel Garza stuff. So I mean, I'll definitely go back and listen to it, obviously, because I always do. But
I think the other big thing to mention is and it's not fair, because we spend so much time cutting down Raw and SmackDown that we never really talk about AEW and NXT, and I'm glad we got to talk about AEW a little bit there.
Yeah.
But I mean, NXT is consistently killing it week after week, even though they're not winning the ratings war. I think that wrestling-wise, content-wise, they're probably putting on a better show. But I mean, the thing to talk about right now this week is Shayna Baszler and her debut on Raw. Which, okay.
Okay.
So
I mean, I saw
Okay,
a screenshot, and I wasn't sure what the deal was with the blood in the mouth. I thought maybe like she just got her face busted or something like that.
No, it's very clearly a blood capsule.
Okay.
Oh
But
yeah,
go on,
absolutely.
And like, well, no, like, yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like a matter of like this is part of a gimmick for her, or just it was like like it was supposed like she's supposed to have gotten bloodied up because of the blood capsule, like the whole Seth and Brock thing when Seth got dropped over the chair and had the quote unquote internal bleeding. Yeah.
I mean, it's too soon to tell where they're headed with this. A lot of people are fearing the worst, that they're going to make Shayna Baszler a vampire, which is honestly a legit concern given Vince McMahon's track record with NXT talents. But that being said, so I'll set the stage for you, and I don't know what they're doing with Becky Lynch right now either. I'm very confused by everything because the last couple of weeks, Becky Lynch has been wearing the her jacket that has like her face as a goat, and it says "goat" on the back, and she's been referring to herself as the goat. Okay,
again,
and it's very
one.
Right, exactly. It's very almost borderline heel. Which I was kind of there for. I get it. Like, Becky has gone so far, like she's basically run the whole circumference. She's gone, hey, I'm a shit-eating heel, to, hey, I'm a badass face, and now she's circling back around to shit-eating heel. And I'm like, okay, that's weird to have Shayna be the face, but okay, whatever. So I'm not sure what they're doing with that, and I don't think that they are either. But, so Becky Lynch versus Asuka happened on Raw. It was actually a very, very good match. It spanned like 3 commercial breaks. So it was a good match. It was probably better than their match at Rumble. And Becky won, I think, with a rock bottom, which was interesting.
I think that I like it when you see that happen with wrestlers, where you see like a new finisher develop.
Right. Exactly.
Anyway,
I don't like that they're leaning on more Attitude Era chum, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
exactly. But pedigree's next. So Shayna comes in the ring and she jumps her from behind, and you could see the crowd like pointing to her very clearly, see she was coming, and she put her down with the tap napper snap, the Kiriguri clutch. And
back sack and crack. Anyway,
exactly. So Becky goes down, okay, and then Shayna proceeds to bite the back of her neck.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was kind of everybody's reaction, going, okay.
Am I supposed to be aroused?
And everybody's kind of like, all right. And Shayna looks up and she's got that big blotch of red on her face, and Becky's screaming, "Oh my god, did that bitch bite me?" Everything else.
Bitch bite me.
She said, yeah, she should. It was very, very audible on the camera, and I thought that was great. But and then immediately everybody goes to worst case scenario, because again, Vince McMahon is Shayna Baszler a vampire, and I'm like, boy, I fucking hope not. So here's what I think they're going for. The biting of the neck, yes, is a vampire thing, but it's also like an apex predator thing, like a dominance thing. Okay,
lions.
If you want to assert dominance and the pride, you bite the back of the neck to show that you are the bad bitch.
Hey, Poot, I'm not being aggressive. I'm being dominant.
No! Stop! No!
Give us some fried chicken!
Anyway,
yes,
I was showing him a dominance.
I think that's what they're going for.
Thank you, Tom.
I love you, man.
That they probably should have done something different, but I get what they're going for, and I think that hopefully if they explain it a little bit better in the future, it'll be okay. But here's why I'm psyched about Shayna Baszler on Raw. First of all, it pretty much sets into stone Charlotte versus Rhea for the NXT title at WrestleMania, which I think is a huge fucking deal on many levels. unless something bonkers happens, which, again, Vince McMahon.
What are you talking about? Nothing bonkers ever happens on WWE.
Ever. So that pretty much puts that in stone, and it also puts into stone the closing of the setup to Becky versus Shayna, which they started at Survivor Series, which again I think was dynamite at that point. I think will be dynamite now, neck biting aside. It was a weird way to go. I'm hoping it's just like a one-time thing. It'd be weird if like Shayna starts like peeing on Becky's coat and things like that. Like that'd be kind of weird. But
what the hell's the matter with you? Why are you giving Vince McMahon ideas?
Showing of dominance.
You know the reason why she had the biting thing was because Vince McMahon. I can almost guarantee you this is what happened. Vince McMahon saw Baszler and her teeth without her mouth guard and was like, look at those chompers. She could rip someone apart with them. I know, she's a vampire. Yeah, Vince. Wow. Dad, I don't know. I don't know if you want to do that. I'll fire you too. I don't know, man. I get it, Beef. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just like,
no, you're fine. No, you're fine. I was kind of grandstanding there, but like that's where everybody's mind goes because again, Vince McMahon, he's come up with some doozies in the past. So let's not forget Sparky Plug. So heed the tale of Sparky Plug.
Every race car driver needs a fucking night job.
Hey, I got a quick question for you. Speaking of things going on TV, I want to ask something about I want to ask something about SmackDown, and I want to ask, like, are they setting up for a match?
What the fuck is SmackDown?
Yeah. Okay. I was about to. I wanted to ask if they were setting up for a match between Bray Wyatt and He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Oh, they're not setting up for it, my friend. That is in stone.
Happening. Okay.
At WWE Blood Money 3, No Way Home. It's going to be the Fiend versus Goldberg.
Oh, I had a stroke. That's why I said He Who Shall Not Be Named. I'm gonna have a stroke now. Thank you, Beef.
Just in case you thought that maybe Goldberg getting one shot at the Universal title wasn't bad enough, he's back for more.
Oh God, help me,
dude! No, think about this. And I'm hoping this is the direction they go in. Stick with me on this, okay?
Okay.
What if Goldberg gets Goldberged by the Fiend?
That's what I'm hoping.
So you're saying like a 5-second match where Bray comes out, hits him with Sister Abigail, hits him with the claw, and that's it?
No. Goldberg comes out, the Fiend comes out.
Wait, he almost drops Goldberg on his head and breaks his neck and kills him? I'm okay with that.
Or he kicks Goldberg twice in the head twice in the same match and gives him 2 concussions. Which Goldberg are we talking about here?
That's true. Well, all of them, really.
I'm good with those.
Yeah, right?
My point is, it'll be Fiend comes out, does his whole thing. Goldberg goes for the spear. Fiend rolls through it, catches him in the claw, puts the claw on Goldberg, taps out. The end.
God, I can only hope. I can only fucking hope.
That'd be interesting.
The Fiend is... I really hate to say this because I don't want to lose that steak dinner. The Fiend is like really lost steam. Really. I mean, the whole thing with Daniel Bryan was I was lukewarm on, honestly. And I hate to say that because it really was brutal, but it was very boring. Like, but I guess maybe that's how I was bored.
The matches were good. Seriously, you didn't like the matches?
I was bored. Dude, I was bored. I was bored with that match. I was. I don't know. Maybe I need to go back and just watch it again. But anyway, so like my point with this is he needs something to make him look extra dominant. And the way that Goldberg dominated Brock Lesnar, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like that still sticks in my head. It's like how quickly he dominated Brock Lesnar. Like, just imagine if the Fiend did that to him and like sloughed it off like it was nothing. You know what I mean? Just grabs his title and meanders back up the ramp.
So here's the end game, though. And again, we're kind of writing the story that hasn't been written yet, but it's in place. Let's be real.
Oh yeah.
Roman Reigns is taking that title off of the Fiend at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
So yes, I agree. Seeing ding ding ding, Goldberg going for a spear, Fiend takes it, hits the claw. That's it. That's a wonderful way to go. But let's be real. What's going to happen is Goldberg's probably going to give him like 5 or 6 spears, and the Fiend's going to keep getting up from them, and then hit the claw and be done. Just to make it so that whenever Roman hits 2 Superman punches and 2 spears, it's going to be a big deal because oh my God, it only took he took 6 Goldberg spears and it only took 2 Roman spears to finish off the Fiend. How great is Roman Reigns? Let's just make him the best champion of all time ever.
Man, why you gotta harsh my vibe here? Like, why you gotta?
I appreciate what you're going for, but I mean, you're just not thinking in a McMahon way, my friend, and that's what I'm here for.
I know, because I'm a
level-headed.
I'm a level-headed human being with hopes, dreams, and empathy for other people.
Stop it!
There's no crying in XFL. Speaking of the XFL, Beef, how the fuck was it?
Oh, dude, I loved it, man. I was strapped in for game 1 to game 4.
You drank the fucking Kool-Aid, did you?
I did, and I tell you what, I enjoyed it as much, if not more, than the NFL. I think that the rule changes that they've made were smart and efficient and made the game more fun to watch. I think that the coolest thing that they do is having Pat McAfee on the sidelines. But other than having Pat McAfee on the sidelines, the coolest thing they do is when there is a review on the field, which is a much maligned part of the game. People love reviews because they want to get the shit right, but they're so upset that they take fucking 12 years. So what the XFL does is when there's a review, they let you listen in live to the referee in the box who's reviewing the play, and they talk it through. And they show you a video of a live shot of the guy in the booth watching the play step by step. So you're seeing what they're saying, you're hearing what they're saying, and they're communicating on field with the referee. That kind of transparency is absolutely unheard of, and it is wild, man. So it's
that does sound pretty interesting to me. I actually like just kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit in that case. So I can see that's kind of a McMahon thumbprint there on that. That makes me interested. What other rule changes did they have? Like what's what would you say is the biggest differences between that and the NFL?
There are 2. One is the kickoff. On the kickoffs, the opposing team, the kicking team and the receiving team, both start 5 yards apart, which is about 35 yards away from the kicker. So in the NFL, one of the biggest drivers for injuries on the field is the kickoff, because you got gunners and guys going like 30, 40 yards full speed and then a hit on somebody. What they're doing to prevent it to prevent that is having these the kicking team and the receiving team line up about 5 yards away from each other.
Oh my!
The kicker kicks the ball, and nobody can move until the receiver catches the ball. Once the receiver catches the ball, then they kind of move forward into a scrum, and then it plays out like a normal kickoff would. So you're not seeing like people going full speed and throwing these hard hits. And then the other thing is after a touchdown, there are no extra points. You can either choose to go for 1 point from the 2-yard line, 2 points from the 5-yard line, or 3 points from the 10-yard line, and run a normal play. And at the end of the half, the inside of the 2-minute warning on both the second quarter and the fourth quarter, the clock stops on every play until they reset the ball. 5 seconds comes off the play clock, and then the clock starts moving again, which really makes it for a really awesome like comeback. They keep calling it like the comeback section, the comeback segment, and it's been really fun to watch. So if you're a fan of the NFL and you're turning your nose up at it, saying I don't need more football or I don't want to watch WWF football, like it's not that at all. It is football. The on-field product is actually better than I expected it to be, with and NFL, ex-NFL players and like guys who, basically never were. The on-field product is better than what I expected, and it's a lot of fun. So and the ratings, I think the first game topped out at 4 million viewers, which is exceptional. And I think the second game had even higher than that. So the ratings were certainly good this week, and the attendance was great. So I'm hoping that it's a good thing for the league, and I hope it sticks around.
Now let me ask you one last thing on that, because I had heard something very interesting in the fact that there was really like next to little or no hype up like from the media about the XFL. So I'm surprised to hear that they that they did numbers that they did. And I wonder how well it was received overall. Like, I don't know if you've heard any other buzz about it after the fact on social media and stuff, but from what I had heard, there was like little to no, real mention of it and coverage of it on other major sports networks or anything like that, like leading up to it. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, it's coming up this weekend. It's like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
For sure. That's exactly what it was. Yep. And I think Fox had a Super Bowl spot for it because the Super Bowl was on Fox.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, you're right. It'll be interesting to see, because typically with these kind of things, your opening weekend ratings, like the same with AEW and NXT, like your first week ratings are always kind of like the spike, and then they dip, and then they come back up, and then they kind of normalize from there. So, the week 2, week 3, week 4 are going to be very telling for where the league is. I would not be shocked to see the ratings go up, because from everybody who watched it, it's a mostly positive experience. I follow a lot of like the NFL meme pages and all that. So like you have the good old boys who are like, oh, that's stupid football. I ain't watching no stupid football, blah, blah, blah. And, you have people, I actually got to talk a little bit on 93.7 The Fan. I actually did a call in there, and I got to talk a little bit. I know, right? I got to talk a little bit, and the guy, and I don't remember who I spoke with, he made a great point in saying that there are other sports going on. Golf, the Masters is coming up.
Right.
We are heading towards the Stanley Cup playoffs, and for baseball fans, pitchers and catchers report. Like, I get all that, but I mean, and his point was that the Super Bowl is the end of football season. We don't need a second football season. But for me, who couldn't give a shit about golf, who only watches the Stanley Cup playoffs here and there when the Penguins are in it, and could give 2 fucks about baseball or basketball, like football is my love. Obviously in wrestling, and to have an extra 10 weeks of football, I'm all for it.
Now, do you think, here's the one other question I had forgotten about I was going to ask. Do you think it would have been even more well received if the XFL had maybe waited a week or two to start their season, or so that way you're not coming off of this like Super Bowl hangover, where some people might be saying like, well, we don't need more football. The football season just ended. It's like, if they would have maybe started it in March as opposed to starting in February, do you think it would have been more well received, or you think?
No, I actually think that they did a smart thing, especially with this year's Super Bowl being a pretty highly contested game. Like, you had people coming off the high of that, and if it were a shitty Super Bowl, I don't know that the ratings would have been as good as they were, or if the fucking Patriots would have won again, people would have said, I'm done with football for the year. But being that you had an exciting game and a comeback from behind in the Super Bowl, I think that it really opened up a lot of a lot of excitement for the XFL. So, like I said, to me, it's is it the NFL guys? No, you don't have the same kind of skill levels, but it is what it is, and I think it's a lot of fun. And again, if you're a football fan, I think you should check it out.
What channel or network is it on?
It's actually on the major sports networks. It's on ABC, Fox, FS1, and ESPN.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
look them up this weekend.
You know what?
Go Battlehawks! Caw-caw!
It looks like wow. Already
Wow.
he's pulling this shit. Anyway, honestly, joking aside, I'm glad that it had a good kickoff and it had a good showing, and it's less kind of goofy bullshit than its first run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. He hate means no stupid jersey names.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of silly, and I think honestly, as odd as it is to say, I think that Vince McMahon has learned his lesson from his first failure in the XFL and has turned it around 180 degrees to where it's a great product. I just wish he could fucking do that in WWE.
That right? Well, maybe he'll start paying attention to that, and fucking someone else can run WWE. That'd be great.
Yeah. Hey, what do you say we get into a little bit of hot tag trivia before we get these picks out of the way for the night?
We gotta do picks. Fuck.
Yeah, we'll be able to breeze through them pretty quickly. It's not a huge card.
I'll go first.
I'll
go first.
Well, I was going to say,
ahead,
if you don't mind, I was going to say I would ask my question to you first, because I actually have to go down here in a couple minutes and grab laundry because, adulting. So.
Right. Oh, fuck, laundry.
Well,
go
then
on.
why don't we do, I'll ask Tom ask Beef, and then Beef can entertain me.
Yeah.
Right. Beef it already called you in the chat, so.
Tom?
Go ahead, Boot.
Okay, you ready for this? Mine's a little bit of a weird curveball. So, one of our favorite places, and at least I think I could speak for the group, to go and look at cool wrestling merch is ProWrestlingTees.com. Okay? Not affiliated, not sponsored, just love the hell out of it. So, if you go to the section that's wrestler-owned stores, okay, and you click on there, the first thing it gives you is top-selling wrestlers, like individual wrestler-owned stores.
Okay.
Who's number one on that list?
I honestly don't know. Let me think.
And I'm judging this by the fact of, like, they put them in squares. You know what I mean? It's like a picture of the wrestler. I always judge, okay, number one top-selling wrestler is the one in the top row on the left.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Fuck, I don't know. From Pro Wrestling Tees, I'm gonna guess CM Punk.
No.
Have a shot, Boot.
You want another shot, Tom? I'll give you another shot.
Hello?
Boot.
What?
Can I?
I guess CM.
Can I have a shot, Boot?
Yeah, go ahead, Beef.
Initially, my thought was Kenny Omega, but there's a guy who stands out a lot more right now, and that's Chris Jericho.
You're both wrong.
Oh.
Yeah. Ready for this? I'm going to give you the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll give you the top 10.
Okay.
How's that sound? Okay. Number 10, Darby Allin. Number 9,
Makes
Colt
sense.
Cabana. Number 8, Cody.
Cool.
Number 7, CM Punk. Number 6, Chris Jericho. Number 5, Bullet Club. That's wrestler owned, I suppose. Number 4, Beef's going to love this one, Bret Hart. Number 3,
What?
Number 3 makes me laugh really hard, Andy Kaufman.
What?
Number 2, Andre the Giant. And number 1, the bad boy himself, Joey Janela.
Huh.
Yeah. So if you go to the top selling wrestler, like the section in there, it says top selling wrestlers. I saw Joey Janela. I was like, huh, what do you know?
How about that?
Yeah. Number 11, Eddie Guerrero. Props to you, Eddie. All right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was
Interesting.
That was my question. And it certainly wasn't because I am searching on here for a hoodie.
No, not at all.
No. I
Are
love
you
Tar-
are you getting that? Are you getting that sweet SAEW hoodie that our buddy Sean got?
Oh yeah, the one that's like heather sleeves, like gray sleeves.
Yeah.
I'm eyeballing right now. I'm eyeballing the Tommaso Ciampa Blackheart shirt.
Oh, there you go.
Eyeballing that.
I almost got the DIY one, but it wasn't part of the deal.
Buy one, get one.
I
So I was
popped
like,
on it. I popped
what's
on
that?
it.
Did you?
I
was-
got it.
I was real close. I was real close. I really wanted it, but
I popped for I popped on a Facebook Retro Gaming League shirt and a coffee mug and some awesome canvas art off of Gould Gaming. So yeah, I ended up
there
going
you
that
go.
route.
Support
The-
your
the can-
sponsors.
I know, right? The canvas art is really cool. If you look in my section, it's the best thing I can call it is like it's like a Metroid gathering field. It looks so awesome.
I'll go there
and-
right now. Gould Gaming. Not
.com.
Gould
And
Gaming. Casual Gaming Dad. Oh, hey. You guys want to hear my impression of a hacker from the 90s?
go ahead.
All right, just one more word. One more word, and we'll be in the mainframe.
Yep. That's either a hacker from the 90s or any airport terminal personnel on the computer. It's like I need to change your ticket from a TS1 to 55P to a TS9 QR65W.
Ooh. Tom,
Yeah.
I googled gouldgaming.com and
Yeah.
I typed in casual gaming dad after that.
Yeah.
First response was retro gaming dad.
That's okay.
Oh.
No, just go onto Gould Gaming's site and then just search by like if you go into the shop and search like our streamer exclusives and then go under my section, you'll see it.
I got it. What is it? Oh, the prints, the canvas prints.
Yeah, the canvas prints that are there. The one it's the best thing I can describe it as like the Metroid gathering field, basically. I don't remember what they titled it as.
The Metroids. It just says the Metroids.
Yeah, it's like you can see a faint outline of Samus's helmet like in the top center.
Oh, dude, that's cool.
It's sweet. I'll send you a picture, the picture of it that I have. Like, it's sitting here. I got to find a space to hang it.
Yo,
But,
I like that. Does it come like stretched over a frame?
Yeah. I'll show you. I'll send you guys a video
It's
after
only
we're done.
$14, and I get to support my buddy.
And it's a decent little size too. It's like it's not a super huge one. It's I forget what they said the size were like. I don't know.
It's
talk about it
pretty decent size. It has a succulent for scale.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, Tom, ask Beef your question.
All right, Beef. So a pay-per-view that was actually kind of popular last month, besides the Royal Rumble, one that's long forgotten is New Year's Revolution. It kicked off in 2005. I believe that was the first New Year's Revolution. So, two-part question. What was the main event of New Year's Revolution 2005?
The main event or the match that went on last?
I'm looking at Wikipedia and it says the main event. So you know what? Give me either answer, whatever you think is apropos, and if you're right on one of them, I'll give it to you.
So New Year's Revolution, I think, was like one of very few pay-per-views that actually occurred outside the United States. It was in, I think, Puerto Rico or Cuba or somewhere, and it was just super weird. But that was the year that Edge beat John Cena for the WWE title after John Cena had defended the WWE title in the Elimination Chamber successfully. Edge came out and cashed in Money in the Bank as the chain was being lifted. Vince came out on stage and was like, "Wow, we're not finished yet," and that was the first ever cash in of Money in the Bank.
Okay, that is not what it has listed as the main event, but I know you are correct on that because I do remember that distinctly. But what's listed as the main event here?
Cena versus, I don't even know who was in the match. Oh, hell. So that would have been before WrestleMania 22, which Rey Mysterio won the Rumble for that one. Okay, so putting myself in that time frame, I would say that it was Cena. I want to say that Triple H and Batista were doing their own thing in a different match. Oh man, who was on the Raw roster? It probably was some like goof offs like Yamaga.
Manga.
I'm drawing a blank. All I know is John Cena in an Elimination Chamber.
All right. Well, you were pretty impressive. I'll give you half a beef coin. I'll give you half a U coin. The fact that it was that New Year's Revolution did take place in San Juan, Puerto Rico. But what they have listed as the main event is not the Cena match. What they have listed as the main event was a match for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship, and it was Triple H versus Batista versus Randy Orton versus Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit versus Edge in an Elimination Chamber match. Now,
the cash-in was the second year. I always forget about the first year of New Year's Revolution because it's so forgettable. The cash-in was the second year. Okay.
Yep. All right. So now Triple H would walk away the eventual winner. My second question to you is, who was the special guest referee in that Elimination Chamber match?
Give me the participants again, please.
You have Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, and Edge.
Shawn Michaels?
You are correct.
Yeah, once you said about it, I was like, oh yeah, that was the year before the Money in the Bank cash-in, so that would have been actually leading up to WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania Goes Hollywood, which was one of my favorite WrestleManias, and WrestleMania is going Hollywood again. So yay,
dude! I'm excited for that one. That's gonna be good.
Yeah, man, dude, that stadium, again, well documented that I love outdoor WrestleManias, and I love like daytime WrestleManias. So like WrestleMania 31 kind of like punched all my buttons for me. SoFi Stadium is basically like a total glass enclosure. So I think it'll be a very unique venue, and I'm very excited for it.
Well, good job getting the second part of that. On that note, I'm gonna go get my laundry. Ask Poot what you got to ask him, and then I'll whenever I get back up, we'll kick off these predictions. Then
I will. Thank you.
All right, cool.
Poot. So I've been watching my build up for WrestleManias, and I don't think I'm gonna get all 35 of them before Mania weekend, and I'm not even watching the pay-per-views. I'm just kind of picking and choosing good matches, which in the first, I don't know, 5 or 6 is kind of tough to do. So the legend, the hardcore legend, Terry Funk, made his WrestleMania debut very early on. I want you to tell me. This is kind of, I guess, a 3-part question.
Oh, wow.
First of all, what WrestleMania did Terry Funk make his debut on?
I do know this because it was at a shitty WrestleMania. It was at WrestleMania 2. You are correct, sir. It was Terry Funk and Hoss Funk. I can't remember. They were the Funk Brothers. I do remember that, but I don't remember who they faced.
So that was actually part 2, is who was his tag team partner, and it was Hoss Funk, a.k.a. Dory Funk. The third part is who was the manager in their corner at that time.
Okay. Oh my God. I watched this I watched this WrestleMania because I always heard it was one of the lowest ranked WrestleManias, and I remember that because I was like, holy shit, Terry Funk was in WrestleMania 2. Like, and I just remember that so vividly. It popped out in my head.
Yep.
But who they were
Me
with,
too. That's why I asked this question.
dude, like the thing for me is, and I'm being dead serious about this. When I think of managers in the 80s, there is one person who comes to mind. This is a shot in the dark. I'm gonna say Jimmy Hart.
It fucking was.
Are you serious?
Jimmy fucking Hart. Right? And that was my exact reaction.
No.
I'm in the kitchen doing dishes, whatever, and like they announced it, Haas Funk and Terry Funk. I'm like, oh, that's cool. With Jimmy Hart, and I'm like, what?
No.
What?
I remember that. It's been a while since I watched it, but it just stuck in my head that I'm like, holy fuck.
Why was Jimmy Hart with the Funk Brothers?
No, but that's the thing. It's like the manager was a shot in the dark. I didn't remember that, but I'm just like, it was the 80s. It was Jimmy Hart. He managed fucking everybody. But
it was him or Heenan. Yeah, the Hart family or the Heenan family.
And Heenan just wouldn't. Actually, I think Heenan might have fit better with them.
For sure. For sure. Given his stable, yeah, for sure.
Oh, but that's the thing is, I'm just like, oh my god, that was fucking. It just blew my mind that Terry Funk was in WWE back then. I
give the Macho Man a lot of shit for his commentary at WrestleMania 9 because he continuously said, "Oh, there goes blank doing the thing." He would literally say, "Oh, Shawn Michaels doing the thing. Oh, the Steiner Brothers doing the thing."
WrestleMania 9, aka Do the Thing, dude.
Yep.
That's
do the thing exactly.
Listen, I know. We've had discussions about having bringing back collar elbow tie up and everything like that, and doing more episodes of that. Dude, going back and listening to that one, and then the one where it was you and Tom, those to me, those are fun. Those are fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we definitely got to get on that. But I got to say that your guys' one that you did about WrestleMania 9, that was hands down the better of the two. I loved it. Made me laugh.
So much as I give Savage a hard time on that, I'll tell you what, and this is kind of a topic because we mentioned that we want to kind of talk about some legacy things coming up here. 'Tis the season with the Hall of Fame and WrestleMania and all that. One of my things I'd like to talk about at some point is favorite announcers, favorite announced teams. And by far, to me, the best announced team out there is Jesse Ventura and Gorilla Monsoon. But man, for the first 4 years, Gorilla Monsoon was stuck on the phrase, "This is a happening." Oh my god, every fucking WrestleMania was a happening. I had to fucking Google what a happening was to even try to understand the fucking vernacular.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, you know what else is a happening that's coming up this weekend?
This is a happening.
NXT Takeover Portland. It's a happening. Oh, man.
Woohoo.
All right. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into these predictions.
So before we get started, though,
go ahead.
I will mention, it feels like they're probably going to add another match to the card, if not two. It feels like there may be a cruiserweight title defense, which that's too hard to call. But I feel very strongly that they're probably going to add the Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong onto this card. I don't know if you guys want to pick it, but I am prepared to do so.
Is Velveteen Dream back? Did he come back on NXT or something?
He came back last week. He was the vignette of the 2-5. Yeah, the 2-5-20 thing. That was him. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
So I feel very strongly that they're probably going to put Roddy versus Dream in a match there. I can't say that unequivocally, but being that NXT has the Sunday spotlight here, that they're doing an actual pay-per-view, and it seems like it might actually be actual pay-per-view lengths, it would not shock me. So I don't know if you guys want to pick it. If you guys do, I'm down. If not, that's okay.
Why don't we have it be a wild card pick?
Yeah, wild card. It's been a while since we've seen a wild card.
Yep.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Be a wild card pick.
All Sexual chocolate, baby. Okay. A little late to the party, but that's all right, Beef.
That's all right. It's all good.
All right. So let's go ahead and start this off. All All right. First match I'm gonna do is let's see. Let's do Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic. This is a singles match for the NXT North American Championship. Poot, you want to start it off?
I don't see them yanking that belt off Lee. It's Lee.
Yeah. Beef.
Who's the man? Who's that champ I see? It's none other than Keith Lee.
And I agree. So we're all posts. We just don't know it. Look at our feet. They're long, fellas.
I think is going to be the
match to beat.
That I think is going to be the match of the night. Yeah, man. That may start the card off, and that's going to be the match of the night to me.
Absolutely.
Yep. Another one that could be a really good barn burner, I think, is Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox. Beef, who you got in that?
This is a tough one because Nox took the victory a couple weeks ago, but it is WrestleMania season, so as all things do, I think this feud's gonna end up at the WrestleMania show. Well, the Tampa Bay takeover. So I was initially gonna say Nox, but I'm gonna change my mind and go Dakota Kai.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Dakota Kai as well, and it literally is because this is the one that I'm like, I have no idea what to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was gonna be my pick anyways too. I don't know what else they could do much more than a street fight, maybe a cage match or something, or a last woman standing. I don't know, but yeah, I think Dakota Kai can take this one, and they can drag this out a little bit longer because I mean they've been dragging it for a little bit. And they've only just recently had Tegan kind of, be able to like get some licks in on her and stuff. So, giggity.
The last woman standing makes a lot of sense, especially with the knee braces and, the knee problems for both of them and everything. I think last woman standing makes actually a lot of sense.
Yeah. All right. Next one. Let's see. Just the regular singles match. Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano. I'm gonna lead off on this one, and I got to go with Johnny. I mean they've both been going strong, but Johnny hasn't. I don't know. I feel like he'll get this one. It's the feel good story of it. And I know Gargano can eat pins all day long and still come out, smelling like roses, but I think he's going to get this one over Balor. And I don't think it's going to make Balor look all that weak. I think Balor's still going to get over even in losing. So I'm going Gargano. Poot?
I'm going to go opposite on this one, just so we're not all picking the same. I'm going to go with Balor because I really feel like Balor... he's not just there to be the vet that puts people over and just is there to kind of, usher in people. I really feel like they're going to integrate him. And I feel like if Balor takes this and starts building, I think he would be a really, really good foil to the Undisputed Era. So like if he built like a little, like,
Balor Club?
A little. Well, I didn't want to go with that, but if he built a little contingent,
Balor and Baby Balor together.
Oh my God, I would pay all the money in the universe to see Balor and Baby Balor. I would. I absolutely would. They would be the ace and the prince. Oh my God, it'd be perfect.
By the way, we should all stop calling Jordan Devlin Baby Balor because someone started chanting that at Full Sail a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's going to absolutely kill any fucking steam he has. So if you're listening out there and you're a smart mark, quit calling Jordan Devlin Baby Balor.
Yeah. Jordan Devlin, like, I think that would be a really cool thing. And then maybe bring in just a third person, a third hand, like for that, I think it would be really cool to see that happen. I think it would be really interesting.
Like Killian Dane.
That would be great.
Make an Irish. No, but wait, is Killian Dane Scottish?
No, he's Irish. He's Northern.
Is he Irish? Yeah,
Ireland.
then making Make it an Irish thing, you know?
That'd be fucking amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
and then they could go over and they could oppose Gallus. Ha ha ha.
Right?
Anyway,
Fantasy booking.
I'm gonna go with Balor.
Okay. Beef, who you got?
I too am going to go with Balor because I think that DIY picked up a little bit more steam than what they were planning on. So I think you'll see DIY challenge for the titles at Tampa Bay, and I think you'll see Finn Balor challenge for the NXT title at Tampa Bay.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Next match. Well, we brought it up. Let's talk about it. The NXT men's championship. Wow. The NXT heavyweight championship. Adam Cole, baby, versus Tommaso Ciampa. Poot. And this is a tough one.
I really feel like, man, I like my gut reaction was Adam Cole because I feel like Adam Cole's going to lose it on Mania weekend. I really do. I feel like that's going to be it. And like Beef said, DIY picking up steam, I feel like they'd be losing money if they didn't keep that as a thing. And the fact that they're not just going back to the white meat babyface DIY, like the way they're integrating their current characters into it, and they're still remaining individuals, they'd be losing all the money in the universe if they did not do it. So I'm personally going to go with Adam Cole because I feel like he's going to lose it on Mania weekend.
All right, Beef.
I'm also going with Adam Cole because, like I said, I think that it's going to be Cole versus Balor at Tampa Bay.
Okay. And I'm also going to go with Cole. Obviously, I picked Gargano in the match before. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think maybe you could get a triple threat out of that come the weekend between Balor, Gargano, and Cole. I'm not opposed to that at all. I mean, definitely by WrestleMania time, unfortunately, I think the Undisputed Era is going to be stripped of all their gold. So, and I don't know what. Yeah, and I think you're going to see them, Raw or SmackDown bound. I don't know which is a better fit for them yet.
205.
Boy, I hope not.
I'm leaving.
Boy, I just hope not because man, NXT is such a good show and they are a heavy part of it. And I know that NXT will continue, westward the wagons, etc. But it's just man, like the last 2 years have been all about the Undisputed Era and NXT. So I just have a hard time seeing NXT without them right now.
All good things must come to an end, unfortunately. So
true.
Well, speaking of which, continuing on that vein, the Undisputed Era in a tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championships, Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly versus the Broserweights, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. Beef, get her dune. Who you got?
I believe that Undisputed Era will win this, and I will go on a limb and say that I think that Pete Dunne will actually turn heel on Matt Riddle, because A, Pete Dunne makes a better heel. B, it just makes all kinds of like neat little irony because Roddy Strong turned on Pete Dunne in the Dusty Classic finals when they were against Undisputed Era. So I think it would just be like nice little neat little bow on things. So I'm picking Undisputed Era.
Okay. I'm actually going to go opposite of you. I'm going to pick the Broserweights here. Just because I feel like the last one to lose their title is going to be Adam Cole. I don't think, I hope not, but I know they won the titles on a regular weekly show. That the Era won them that way, but I don't see them losing them on a weekly show. I could be wrong, but I mean, I don't know. I think you had Roderick Strong lose his title on a weekly show. I think the tag team titles go on this one, and I think Cole loses his come Mania. And Cole has to be the final piece of the Era to crumble. He has to be the last man standing of it. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just makes sense that way. So I got Broserweights going over in this one. Poot, what about you?
I actually agree with you, Tom. I think this is where the prophecy starts falling apart, or not even starts. It's the continuation of it falling apart. I think they lose their belts here, and I think they all lose their now. Like Roddy Strong lost his on just a normal weekly show, and I feel like the other two belts are going to be dropped on bigger shows. So I'm going to go with Broserweights as well, man.
All right.
The other reason I picked on Disputed Era is because, like I said, I really feel that they're going to go do the whole DIY thing again, and I think that they're going to be the ones to take the titles off them on Mania weekend. So
it could be interesting. You think they'd really have Undisputed Era lose the tag titles and the NXT Championship both on WrestleMania weekend though?
I do. And honestly, I think that the plan was for all three of them to lose the titles at the same time. But, like we've discussed, Keith Lee is a fucking train, man. Like, you could not stop his momentum this year, and it'd be stupid not to capitalize on it. So him winning the North American title was the right decision. But I think, like I said, I feel like it was supposed to be them all three losing at the same time. So it was a very quick and painful crumbling of the era.
Excuse me, I have to handle something.
Go ahead.
Tom, I don't know what you ate today, but that burp sounded like you were trying to do a lazy man's load from the butcher shop to your car, and you just dropped a whole bunch of flank steak.
I'll take it. I had to invoke the spirit of Ransom somehow.
I'm glad. Hey, you know what? Shout out to our boy, Ransom.
I mean, I kind of shit on it a little bit in the intro, so I figured I'd give him a little bit of props and give him some sort of justice.
Guys, there. He's like fucking Beetlejuice. If we keep saying his names, he's gonna show up. Let's get this moving, huh?
Ransom.
No, what have you done?
Nope. Still gone. All right, last match. Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair singles match for the NXT Women's Championship. I'm up first. It's got to be Ripley, just because the upcoming feud with her and Charlotte. It's got to be Ripley. So I'm picking Rhea to retain. Poot.
Oh yeah, Rhea retains. That's a no-brainer.
Okay, and Beef.
I mean, it would not be outside the realm of believability to have Bianca Belair win because she held her own in the Women's Royal Rumble. She was definitely the star of the Rumble.
Oh yeah.
In the in-ring segment with Charlotte last week, 2 weeks ago, she absolutely fucking shined like none other. You talk about facial expressions, like Bianca Belair is another one that just oozes that something. When she won the Women's Battle Royal to get the shot, I was like, that's dumb and it's wasted. It should have been like Io Shirai or, Shayna Baszler or anybody else. But the more I've seen of Bianca Belair in this build-up, the more I think that, okay, so it's this was actually a very tough call for me, but I at the end of the day, I think you're both right. They have way too much invested in Rhea Ripley and the Charlotte thing, and Bianca Belair kind of is an afterthought. And if Rhea Ripley loses, it makes that whole thing kind of weak. So, Rhea wins, but it would not shock me to see them do a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Let me say that.
That's I could give you that. That's not bad.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
To be fair.
And then, do you guys want to do the Dream Strong pick as the wild card as well?
Oh, Dream would win, coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that one.
We may as well not even waste our breath then, because they also.
I mean, we can pick it.
No, I mean
I mean we all just did because I mean it doesn't make any sense for the Dream to come back and lose.
I mean, Ransom could pick it and pick Roddy
That's
Strong.
Fair. So he probably would too. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. By the way, the little side note here, Velveteen Dream came back on NXT last week with tights a la Rick Rude. with a fucking airbrushed picture of Marina Shafir and Roddy Strong's kid with him with the Velveteen Dream on the side, and on the back
Really?
it said "Call me up, Marina."
Wow.
Yeah,
Dude,
dude.
Wow.
I love the Velveteen Dream.
Why
He
did I
is outstanding?
Why did I forget that like Roddy Strong and Maria Shafir were, together? I don't know.
So did I until I saw that on his trunks. I'm like, what is "Call me up, Marina"? And I'm like, wait, oh, that's right. Roddy and Marina are married. They have a kid. Holy shit.
That's fucking crazy.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
man, he's so good. He's so good.
Like, just everything about his script. Well, guys, we're getting long in the tooth here.
As always.
As is our want. Hey, before we start all this, everybody, we always go, hey guys, let's keep this tight. Let's keep this pretty neat. Let's keep this, there. And we're, oh yeah, we'll get it. And then it's always, it's 11 o'clock, guys. Let's call it a night.
Yeah. And
Well, we
are.
did faff around a little bit beforehand, so we're probably, about like an hour 45, I'm gonna guess.
And
here we are with the extended molars, nonetheless.
Very true. All right. Also, I might as well do this because I haven't done it since I started damn thing. I know for a lot of people who are probably in the area who do it, I don't mind traveling all over Pennsylvania. I've worked on. I started a little Facebook page and an Instagram for Bungo Guitars.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. And like doing guitar work, I post stuff on my builds. You can contact me through there if you want work done. I've traveled to Pittsburgh to do work. And I will travel all over Pennsylvania and beyond if the money is right.
Doing the Lord's work, one fret at a time.
Oh wow, I love it.
You're welcome.
I'm doing the Lord's work. You mean I'm doing Steve Vai's work? I absolutely am. All right, Beef, you want to?
Listen, if you're gonna start plugging your page, you better start be mentioning our podcast on your little workbench videos too, because you could be a sponsor too. Nepotism.
I absolutely do mention. If anyone's a wrestling fan, check out my podcast. I do mention that, and I've done that without any poking or prodding or anything. So suck my dick, Beef. Thank the sponsors.
Speaking of, so we definitely want to thank Tom and his work with Casual Gaming Dad and the props he's given us. Like I said, I've talked to several fans of ours that have come over from his page, so that is a very direct correlation. So thanks, man, for sending some awesome people our way and having them check out our videos and our podcast and whatnot. And thanks for making video games awesome again with all of your streams and everything. So
listen, after we get off the recording, I got something for you on that, making video games great again. Trust me.
Interesting.
Like it.
And then, we want to thank Sean Tischler and what he's done with IWC over in Clearfield. And again, remind you that coming up, just announced, breaking fucking news, guys. April 25th, Saturday, April 25th, the 5th at the Clearfield Expo. Same place as it always is. The cage is coming back, fellas. Clearfield Cage Combat. IWC Cage Combat in Clearfield. Again, that's April 25th. It's a Saturday. Get your tickets in advance. Get them VIP passes. Come out and support a local independent scene and come see some. Our flapping heads and beady eyes will probably be there as well. So
also, that is the day before old Poot the Bard's birthday, so we could make a whole big birthday weekend out of it.
Yes, we could.
It is. It's Pootmas Eve.
It is Pootmas Eve.
I like.
I had to give the ransom laugh on that one.
IWC Cage Combat on Pootmas Eve, April 25th. Come out and support some local indies and come meet our faces and say hi. So thanks so much.
And support Poot on his birthday.
Oh, that'd be super great.
Happy birthday, Grampy Poot.
I'm gonna be turning 35.
Ah, that's okay. It's no big deal.
Oh, yuck! I don't like it.
I'm 35. You're fine.
Yeah, but you look like you're 12, so shut the fuck up. I look like I've been dead for 5 years and someone pissed on my grave.
Wow, I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, well, thanks, man. I'm trying. But so this has been a lot of fun, guys. This was a good episode. I'm looking forward to getting back into the swing of things here for Beef the Legend, the unfortunately absent advocate, the best advocate, Mr. Alec Ransom, myself, Poot the Bard, and your reigning, defending, undisputed Cruiserweight champion of the P3 podcast, Mr. Tiger.
Uppercut.
Bomb Tom. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Good night, bitches.